Hello everyone, my name is Cait. Welcome back to my channel. I'm an incoming master's student in literature and arts at the University of Oxford, a full-time Google employee, and also an accepted society project manager. Today I am going to reflect on my 5-star reads for the year, so essentially the top books that I have read this year so far. So for those who don't know, I don't use Goodreads because I don't like to support Amazon. If you want to know why, I will leave a link to the video right above there. But I do have a Storygraph account and I will leave my linked Storygraph over here as well. Currently on Storygraph, I have read 18 books this year. My goal for this year is to read 30 books. And I do have a TBR list for 2023, which I believe has 21 books on there. I can't remember exactly, but I will leave a link to that video here as well. So I've read 18 books and I have given 5-star reviews to 5 books that I have read this year. So let's talk about those books. In addition to my Storygraph, I also write out notes in my Golden Coil planner about the books that I have read, and I give them little star reviews over here. This is just so that I can visualize it a bit more. Storygraph is fantastic at showing you your stats, but yeah, we are going to use this as kind of the director for this. So let's dive right in. So starting from the book that I've read most recently this year that I've given 5 stars to is The Mermaid of Black Conch by Monique Ghríofa. This book is fantastic. I have absolutely loved reading this. This was our Accepted Society Book Club pick for July? Yes, for July, and it is such an exceptional book. It has stuck with me for the weeks after I have read it, and the impact of this book is just so profound. It sits with you, you feel it afterwards. It's really quite fantastic. It is a eco-critical, eco-feminist book about a mermaid that is captured by some American fishermen and who is then rescued and sort of admired by a local Caribbean man. On a quiet day near the Caribbean island of Black Conch, a mermaid raises her barnacle head from the flat grey sea. She is attracted by David, a fisherman waiting for a catch, singing to himself with his guitar. When Ikea is caught and dragged ashore by American tourists, David rescues her with the aim of putting her back in the ocean. But it is soon clear that the mermaid is already transforming into a woman. This is the story of their love affair of an island and of the great wide sea. This book is really just so incredible. I gave it 5 stars because of the sort of native narrative structure of it, the pressing themes of eco-criticism, the pressing themes of feminism, the idea of Ikea's sexual awakening in this is really brilliant as well. And I think it is a book that more people just need to read. It's really and truly fantastic. So first 5-star review goes to this glorious book. Second 5-star review goes to this incredible book by Jhumpa, Lahiri, Whereabouts. This book is so atmospheric. You feel like you are the woman in the narrative who lives in her little apartment in Italy, and you go through her life and the struggles that she's had and the sort of uncertainty that she feels as she's going through her life. It's really quite a fantastic little book. It's not very long at all. I believe it's only 157 pages, probably one you could read in a full sitting. I think I did. I think I read it very quickly. The woman moves through the city alone. She moves along its bright pavements. She passes over its bridges, through its shops and pools and bars. Sometimes her steps take her to a grieving mother, sealed off in her own solitude. Sometimes they take her to the station where the trains can spirit her away for a short while. But in the arc of a year, transformation awaits, and one day at the sea, both overwhelmed and replenished by the sun's vital heat, her perspective will change forever. This book is one of those books that is about a feeling. And as you're reading it, you're kind of engrossed in this atmospheric moment where you're transported into a whole new world, and a world in which you are completely absorbed. The woman's experience, the fact that she's technically nameless, is so profound. It is so relatable to a lot of readers, I can imagine. Her troubled sort of relationship with her mother as she struggles to kind of understand her manner, understand why she made the decisions that she made, and her relationship with her now past father is really quite fantastic as well. I do not believe that this book is given as much recognition as it should. It's also a translated work, but it is translated by the author herself from Italian to English, and you guys know me and a translation are just absolutely in awe of each other. So this is such a fantastic little book. I would highly, highly recommend. 5 stars this year. The next 5-star review that I have is A Ghost in the Throat by Doireann. This book, you guys, this book is incredible, absolutely incredible. I have had this book on my shelf for I think like 2 years or something like that. I bought it from my secondhand bookstore and I just loved the cover of it. I mean, that cover is just so beautiful. And it just kind of sat there and I was like, oh, I'll put it on the TBR, I'll see if I can read it, all this kind of stuff. I wish I'd read this book sooner. It's just one of those books that as I picked it up and as I started reading it, I was like, this book is incredible. Absolutely incredible. It is a sort of semi-autobiographical book about a woman who is in her sort of motherhood era. She's had her children are still quite young. She's breastfeeding her baby, all that kind of thing. And she comes across she comes across an Irish poet or an Irish poetess from history, which she reconnects with, and she embarks on this journey to find out more about this Irish poetess, and the sort of interplay between history and narrative, the female body and the female text, the way she describes how she's reading this poetess' work while she breastfeeds her baby is just so exceptional. The pacing of this book is really quite fantastic. It sort of starts off really slow and lethargic as she's going through this uninspired time in her life. But then when she engages with the poetess, she's all of a sudden, her world is opened up and she is making so many more connections in her life to what is going on. And it is just so beautifully written. It is such a beautiful book. I mean, you can't really see, and it's a terrible thing, but I've dog-eared a lot of these pages because I ended up using this book for my final exam essay. I spoke about this book as it relates to feminist narrative and how it formulates in and of itself a feminist narrative throughout history. So yeah, I mean, I was very proud of that essay. I haven't gotten the marks back for it, so we don't know if anyone else thought it was very, very good, but I just loved this book so, so much, and it is just, it's so fantastic. In the strikingly inventive prose debut, Doireann sculpts essay and autofiction to explore the deep connection between two writers that are centuries apart. In the 1700s, an Irish noblewoman, on discovering that her husband has been murdered, drinks handfuls of his blood and composes an extraordinary poem. In the present day, a young mother narrowly avoids tragedy. On encountering the poem, she becomes obsessed with its echoes in her own life and sets out to track down the rest of the poet's story. This book is everything. Everything, everything, everything. I cannot praise it enough. Wholly deserved 5 stars in my opinion. The next book that I gave 5 stars is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This book it had me in tears 90% of the time, this book. I was so encapsulated of the story by Sunja. I was just enthralled in her narrative, in her formulating of a family, creating a family in a foreign land in dire circumstances, her perseverance, her strength, everything that she endured just to have a safe family and to have a family that is, even though it is in this really sort of difficult circumstances, her family perseveres, her family thrives, and yet that sort of cloak of discrimination just never really leaves, and it's always hampering things that the family is engaging with. This 3-generational story that spans the difficulties between Korea and Japan, the conflict between Korea and Japan, is just, it's a different way of reading historical fiction. For me, I always say that the best historical fiction I've ever read is Hilary Mantel, and I will stand by that. But this book is on par, if not better. The way that historical fiction is brought to light with the subtleties of the plot is just so engaging and so brilliant, and I just love this book. I love it. I want to reread it so much, because even though it's quite a thick book, I think it's something like, what is it? Yeah, 531 pages. I breezed through this book. It is such a good sort of interesting read. You never feel like it's laboring. You always feel engaged in this book. So, yeah, this book is just absolutely incredible. A club-footed, cleft-lipped man marries a 15-year-old girl. The couple have one child, their beloved daughter, Sunja. When Sunja falls pregnant by a married Yakuza, the family face ruin. But then a Christian minister offers a chance of salvation, a new life in Japan as his wife. Following a man she barely knows to a hostile country where she has no friends and no home, Sunja's salvation is just the beginning of her story. And if you're thinking that you can watch the series that is Pachinko, it's completely different from the book. The book's much better, obviously. I don't think this would be a favorites video without me talking about Ulysses. If you've been here, even briefly, you know the love that I have for this book ever since I read it for my modernism term as a part of my degree. James Joyce's Ulysses is a slog. It is not an easy book to read. It is really difficult. I had to read it with a companion guide, and I was still studying it, so I had a little bit more help into understanding all the various allusions and intertextuality that occurs in this book. But this book has stayed with me. This book, for me, is pure and utter genius. I just feel so drawn to and akin to this book in so many ways. I can't even really describe how much of an impact this book has made on me. And I don't think it's something that I can actually recommend for everyone, because it's a very difficult read and it's not exciting. It occurs within a singular day, but it is, if you do take on reading Ulysses, or you want to study literature, or you want to look at intertextuality examples, there is none better, in my opinion, than James Joyce and Ulysses. And yeah, entirely 5 stars. If I could give it 6 stars, I would give it 6 stars. But yeah. So let's pile these up to a nice looking aesthetic. So these are my 5-star reads for this year so far. I am reading some really incredible books over the summer. I've got my summer TBR that I'm currently reading. This was actually part of my summer TBR list. So I am working through that. I'm also working through my 2023 TBR. If you're interested in watching and following along with my reading journey, and you're interested in hearing about the books that I am reading, if you are interested in any of the books that I'm reading, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. It helps me out so much. And then I can continue to make some bookish content, which I love to do. So thank you everyone for joining. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye.